Hello everyone, today I'm going to share with you some finds that I got thrifting this morning. I was out and about early, and before I did my grocery shopping I decided to go and have a look in a couple of shops, and I just found a few little bits and pieces. The first thing I found was a little box, and it was 50 cents, and I just thought it was such a sweet little box. I love the blues and the fabric. The thing is, the top's a little bit crooked, so I thought I will take, because I've just had a little pick to see if it comes off easily. I'll take that pink braid off from the top there, and I think I'll just put a different trim around the little cottage picture. But other than that, I think I'll leave it just the way it is. I think it just needs, the bottom is not, oh there we go, okay, the bottom is just a little bit I think someone's cut the bottom and put it in there, and it doesn't quite fit, so it just needs a it's the inside part of the box, and I think it just needs a trimming down or another one completely cutting. Yeah, so it's just a bit warped and doesn't quite fit in there, so I might leave that out. And that's all that needs doing to that. So that was cute. And then I found another little box, and this is Noble Glasgow 100 detonators for high explosives. Now I don't know whether it's just a fake tin or it's an actual tin, but how cool is that? That is such a good little tin. Look, of course there's nothing in it, but what a good looking tin that is. I love things like that. And it's got this warning on the side. I'll read it out to you. It says, must be handled with great care and kept dry. The composition must not be scratched or pricked with a pin, nail, knife, blade or other hard substance, as any act of this kind may cause explosion. I'm glad it was empty. So that was a funny little find. That was $1. And then the next thing I found, and this was also $1, was this nice little metal frame. It's the Made in Italy frame. Aren't they beautiful? I have a few of these, and they're just lovely. So that was nice, and that was only $1, like I said. I found a bag of trims for 50 cents, and it was mainly, there's a little daisy trim in here that I really like little daisy trims. Not so much the yellow, but that might come in handy for something with the kids. And that looks like a great big old shoelace, so who knows. We have a bit of pink ribbon, which is quite pretty. There, this lovely blue trim, eyelet trim, quite a bit of that. And then this sweet little daisy trim, how lovely is that? I do like that sort of thing. So that was nice for 50 cents. I mean, there's not a lot of this, but it's still really nice to have. And then I was looking for some pink fabric actually, because I don't have a lot of pink fabric. So I was looking around and I found this little child's top, and it was $2. And I love, look at the ruffle all the way around it. And I mean, it's just a polyester, but look at all that ruffle that I can use. And it goes completely around the whole top. Like that's the top. There's the shoulder. And there's the top, and it's a wrap top because it's got these long ties, and there's the waist of the top there, but this ruffle goes all the way around the top. And then you have these ties that are all edged already, easy enough to ruffle those up as well, plus the fabric of the garment. So that was a nice little find, some pre-made ruffle that you don't have to kind of worry too much about. And the next thing I found was this top here, and this was also $2.50, and that's a lady's top, and it's made of this like crepe kind of fabric, and then the collar, the cuffs, and down the front are all the pink satin, and it's such a pretty shade of pink, very soft and lovely. So hopefully I'll be able to make some nice flowers from that fabric and utilize the collar and cuffs as well. And then I found, and I've never seen this in any of the shops before. I mean, I've seen net curtains, but I've never seen a pink one. Look at that. That is a pink curtain, and it's like, that's the top, and you thread the pole through there. But that's not all. It's actually a full-length long curtain, and this was attached to the top part of it. So this is the valance at the top. So there's, I think it was 2.5 meters of pink curtaining like this, and it's like 2 meters 15 long. So, and this is just the valance because this was the easier part to show you, and of course there's a bit more pattern in that on the longer one. But I thought, wow, that will come in very handy for, you know, using, because even this part here, just for using like on backgrounds and things like that, because, you know, it's not great quality lace, of course, but as a background to go over a plain fabric, it would work very, very nicely. So that was a good find, and that was $3 for that large curtain, which was really good. Now I found one, actually, yeah, I found one of these, and this is an aluminium soap bar for getting smells off your hands when you're peeling onions and garlic. I know it's not crafty, but I couldn't pass it up because it was only 20 cents, and that will sit on my sink. And this was also 20 cents, just a little embroidery oval hoop, cross stitch I think it is. So that was cute to find. And then I found this braid. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? It's like a Chinese upholstery braid or something. It says Harlequin trims. That's lovely. It says 3.6 meters. I don't know if that's actually what it was, but that was $2.50 as well for that. And then I found this bit of, there was a box there, and it had like the patterns for embroidery. I wasn't really interested in getting, you know, the fabric with the printout on it. I wasn't really interested in getting any of those, but this one's actually got I think it's stump work or something, and it's all done. It's all done, and I thought, well, that could come in very handy, couldn't it? Look at that beautiful piece as a cushion cover. But you know, even just like the top of a nice pin cushion or something like that, rather than it just sitting there and not getting used at all. Give it a new life, I think. I like that a lot. Someone's put a lot of work into it. I found this book for 50 cents, and I thought, oh, you know, that'll be good to use in junk journals. And then when I got it home and looked right through it, it actually is like a junk journal, and I didn't realize it. Like, it's got different kinds of pages in it, and like that's a pocket in there, and look, and that's all printed on the paper. How good is that? And that goes all through the book. Look at that. So it's like its own little junk journal, and that's just printed on the paper. I should have, well, it was a nice surprise. I shouldn't have looked while I was there. I just thought, oh, it's like a ledger book or something like that. A pretty pink one. Isn't that good? So that was a nice little bonus, and that was only 50 cents. And then lastly, I got this for 50 cents also, and it's, what does it's a bridal motif, and you get all these packets of seed beads, all not opened, in all these lovely colours. Look at those colours, aren't they lovely? Mauves and things like that, and some bugle beads down the bottom there. And then you get this great big wedding applique. Look how big that is. For 50 cents. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I've never seen one of these packs before. I really haven't. I don't know why you would use these kinds of colours of beads on it. I really, you know, I wouldn't. But then I guess someone might. It's got all the instructions on the back. But anyway, it'll all come in useful for something. But look at the size of that applique. So it'd be nice beaded up. I'm trying to think what I can use that for, but it could be cut up and then beaded, I think. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be very nice. I'm trying to think what you could use it for. I don't know. I'm sure I'll find some use for it. But a nice little find for that price, especially. So they are my finds for today. And like I said, I only went to 2 shops. And I didn't even spend a lot of time in there because it was a pretty miserable kind of day out and about. It was like, it was raining first thing this morning, and then it fined up a little bit, and then it was blue skies, and then it started raining again. So it was a funny old day actually. Oh, I've made a real mess out of that, haven't I? Okay, there we go. Okay. So I think that's me for thrifting for a while now. Can't keep collecting things, have to use things before I can keep buying, you know. And I have to start making stuff. I'm sort of doing swaps at the moment, and it's not like I can show anything really, I don't think. I made a little pincushion. It's not anything fancy, it's just a little tin pincushion. Actually, I made it for another one, but it ended up too small, so I stuck it in this little tin. And what did I do here? I decorated a little sugar bowl, which just sits on my desk, and I think that turned out kind of cute. It's just, and it's just got its the bottom there with the nice vintage laces, and it just sort of sits there. I love the shape of the sugar bowl, and I didn't want to cover it too much, and I didn't want to use it as a pincushion. I thought, you know, it's nice to put maybe some jewels or something like that in there. So that's a couple of little projects, but the other things aren't quite finished yet, so I'll have to show them another time. Okay, have a lovely weekend everybody. It's Friday here today. So I'm not sure when this video will go up. Maybe on Sunday my time. So have a lovely weekend everybody, and do take care. Bye.